Abramo ato yama atiefo nyina ha makwa baba TV XYZ Power FM na fe Radio XYZ so Ghana nsama yansaka ababwa no eno na yade Abraham se pram tobra Kasiebo no na stations ahodro bebre so wo man Ghana okopiemu wo from Mantema Volta Power 94.1 wo Global FM ho Sharp FM takrade ensroma ewon krankwanta bom FM ojase kanjinyame wo sampa nanan mo afugo so was and radio wala meleke FM wo kpazangligi FM or Bole Rich FM ewo asimfo so Trinity ekutem ewo bogoso saso na eye oti radio ewo dambai wempan sampa wode FM ekutem ewo Pusiga Sunset Radio wo eye sehwi saso na nyansapo FM ewo Shama gateway ewo Nkwanta South Anapo FM ewo Hafukenya ase na Fenyiwa radio esu ekutem adehye ebetie bi Atom Local FM asase saso na Vesi Radio ni TV enso ebutu dunko fi akasie no omoto edu akire amayen na fe utwapo na akwa monane nso ai no nsam no obetie bi ewo eye Apple State FM Virginia USA tuning air power saso ana Desi Radio esu ekutem ewo tiladamfa ewo UK OPD ewo UK Loud Silence Television enso ekutem ewo America memo saso ana eye Radio SM online ana fe tuning air power 979 and my xyzonline.com honso kasia no ye krichiri ni nyina adiegu a wudu abenya bi akenkan hyen Facebook no so ye power 979 TVSYZ and fe ye radio XYZ 93.1 se ni nyina no ye Facebook a wudu abenya bi na watimi de wadwenkyere so ato amay na wa share de amay saso na YouTube no me pa cho share yen ewo ye XYZ broadcasting na insem ni nyina no watimi akyere wadwen aboa na yakwenim na nsem de brem no nia edi akotene no ebi ene say
Ghana man penny John Dramani Mahama yade anu ewo Dubai hwe se di aman ni mienu ho sankai bibia be kama na so nei wonani atremu ewo Zambia na fuam yensa no yesu no de kwa sansra hwe sanso ana ababeto jase na Ghana inflation no yade a etimi aba from gina pembe na babe gina ho sam no obeti ewo Kasiebo yi emu se be ya na legal education wa my Ghana ho sankai ebedi mu ye ntene no what the legal education bill 2025 na kwa kopiemu wa my Ghana mra hye bedwafie mu saso ana Ghana manpanyi abedi akire se Ghana manpanyi ne botaye ne so bepeja Ghana edi agira mpempen so bi ese yebetimi akwa ni mpantie ne no yebue yapon se Ghana yankasa yebetimi aye nuoma hodo esense de bia no yebekra de aba omayi mu na se be ya na bambo ho senkaye ntete wo my Ghana mu bedi mu ntene no mra hye bedwam kro na no what the defense yesterday university bill no so ho senkaye eba betuja saso ana enenu edom eye Kasiebo mra hye bedwafie panyi ba ko ade atudwa akirem se Ghana manpanyi aye krado se mra hye bedwafo kwotena se ebobo na se eye anti Gabriel no omudi omunsa hyase ebeye mbra Ghana manpanyi so behwe na ordinance hyase ntentema de se bibia nsi de kwan se obesa ede amaganafo management awamo edatama development eye Ghana limited ano de atudwa so behwe na affordable house ho sankan wo my Ghana mu no bibia tumi adeda na kwa mu ababeto dwase Ghana eye mpanyimfo eye esiginai na omahwese kotoka ediada se yewimhye gina bia no so no ombetimi asesa nipa bi ebisa nse bebre na no nipa bi adwenkyere wiei mobete Kasiebo yi emu ensamwe ani afoforo pina enena wiei wasamufo aso kwaje yade yemu nsankaye baba somo na eyenwumakuo bi no adaroma na Kasiebo yi etimi abawa kwamu na yade aseda ma eye Tebote garage wamo asoye eba no ka ho nsankaye se oka no engine ene hawa ba ho se na husuo no pese won spray ne foforo anasa body wash na pese wonya eye Tebote garage pe ene betimi ayesanse se we nyina ede amawo afei so o car bi a chese eno no wa man rejected goods a mo se fabra wo behwe na chimato bi e wo ho wa hwe no wasiese na ne tomu nso no bibia etimi akoso kama ne e friend se damage cars ni nyina no do ani chire mo Tebote garage a wo mo eto ni nyina na obehu won a tra kwan ewo awoshi waterways na chese banyard water traffic lights ne so a wonsa enifa so e na obehu na tra kwan kumase so omo ewo eye Georgia hotel eni grid co office no omo ntampe e na Tabota garage wo mo ehye frempanimfo ewo 0542 275252 anasa 0206 481 793 0206 481 793 afei so S natural mineral water yensu krogen abe dwaman so dwabo bia wo bobia no nya bi wase do som wa hoho a ebeboa ma odwumede na awudi no aye krabehwe omaimu afa na ba bia bo supermarket anase provision shop bia mu a ubenya S natural mineral water nsuo no ebia to ni do so puo mu fo ni kyeremu SYZ fidiam ha no mo se ya no benya ndodo to ni bia to anase frempanimfo e was 0596 273546 0596 273546 na when S natural mineral water eni enkomo ye ko anim no ye betwe ni so e de atraboafo awomo aka ewia be adepene ebesomo eyeme akuya krantama enafe
nana
ajwa kwachwa
efe adaroma ebesira na modemaso afam yenkase ne nsi omu no ye dosemu ede amamo ye hyansam no asede na esene no empanyimfo a ehwe Ghana enkontabu nsam so se bia Ghana nioma bo eden ana eba fom ekosoro ene omasan so akokohia na omode nsam bi atudom kirem se nyankopon adom inflation no eyade a eti aba fom a enye asem kuma kora na osi aba fom kura ne no egina 3.8% a se January bosum nkontabu na omode abetudwe na omkirem se sawosha na se 52000 and ejese 21 no eyade a weni ne edika ejese timi aba fom pa enye asem kuma ese no manyina no etimi akoso na beye bosome maako ejese eye 13th se dwumadi ato so mabu nkompo nyina no eyade a wenu etimi aba fom pa na mbra dwumadi ne ekoso no betu dwa kirem so kopie mu ewo atifi apue mantemu a ekame ejese omo no inflation no ejina 11.2% eje na emano ko basa na sankuntabu nsam ne ade nyina no ekoso no na ya na musi ne wenua bema kofi abrantie ewo hobi nti ye kɔ na sɛde ansam no ɛkan ne ɔmode to dwa nyina no watimi akyerɛkyerɛ mu ɛde aman kofi akɔ aba me pa chobo emu ne nkwan
yo Sambe eyade a ene anopi Ghana Statistical Service etonsa edefre eyensem trofo ede eye afi 2026 bosume edikan January 2026 eye consumer pricing index eto eyensem trofo enim na eno ena eye Ghana Statistical Service wo mo pen ede tuja ochie mo se eyade a ohwe eye Ghana sena eye bubu ya niama ehwe senia eye inflation ebetumi aba form no ube piem o man Ghana mu a December na ye few months ebe 2026 mo no na inflation ejina 5.4 ena afeyin ye be piem January 2026 inflation etimi aba be piem 3.8 a marginal point ewo 1.8 eno ena name a ama mpempren yetimi aba be piem ho na Dr. Alasan eni tuja echiemu se inflation a etimi aba form no ejina fiscal discipline aroa agencies ena afey aban ediegu akwam a ehwe eboa ama niama etimi akonkan eno na ama mpempren ayekase inflation ade enim se emra yawo December mu ayaba be di bronya no na gina 5.4 no mpempem etimi aba be pie mu 3.8 eno ne ne egina na afi 2021 no na yade ase ye be kai inflation eba no na gina 23.5% ama mpempem ameno kase we pie mu o man Ghana inflation aba be du 3.8 na Dr. Alasan Idrisu eni tuja echie mu se niam bi ka ho a eye da no womo niama bo ewo soro a obeka se womo 10 index we a womo consumer price index no womo ye no niama di mo akotene pa ama sese no niama kosoro no otumi bubo bi so ene kyerensem trofo yentie niama ni bia da no ne bo ewo soro a eno nso etumi edi emutinti mapa se ba no eye consumer price index na.
The top 5 contributors to inflation at the item level are charcoal, green plantain, smoked herrings, cinema and cultural services, and ginger. And these 5 items accounted for about 52% of the overall inflation recorded in January 2026. If you extend this to the top 10 contributors, we are talking about the top 10 contributing about 79% to the overall inflation rate of 3.8% in January 2026. The bottom 5 low inflation items, namely garden eggs, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 58.7%, meaning that the price level of garden eggs reduced by 58.7%. Fried plantain, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 50.7%. Cocoyam leaves or contumely, yes, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 49.1%. Pawpaw, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 46.9%. And fresh tomatoes, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 42.5%, altogether dragging inflation down by 24%. I'll take this again. The bottom 5 low inflation items, namely garden eggs with inflation rate of negative 58.7%, meaning that the general price level in relation to garden eggs reduced by 58.7% between January 2025 and January 2026. Fried fish, inflation rate of negative 50.7%. Cocoyam leaves or contumely, inflation rate of negative 49.1%. Pawpaw, with inflation rate of negative 46.9%. And fresh tomatoes, with inflation rate of negative 42.5%. Altogether, dragged inflation down by 24%.
Okay, Kransema, government statistician, Dr. Alasa Idrisu, in some trophy shema of Freya, in some be only 2 Janibi, and so any.
Na Kofini Semuno now copiemu ewo northeast one note say new man inflation I say epidemic mukakra. Adenti na Hong Kong o say ebaza. Yo,
Kransema. Nientia Emma Northeast region inflation etumi ekosro no omo se pe survey omo ye no ukopie a getting access to markets and afi cost of air vehicles tisana ye bia ukofie opese wo fashion ene ko bebia wo bebia akodi uja ene ade na to get say yenim say uko Northeast so ade omo yekua adwuma but after say omo yekua adwuma ne ade no getting access to the market na ebetumi ama wo metumi aton ade no wo muntumi nya and afi aside eno so no hyen ebetumi afa wo ene akọ no na ekomi akọ say wo prices was so any na esame up anything ma that inflation na say who compare with Ghana yem bobre na 3.8% na it ono kwa kita 11.2 na ekami akwa say womu the benefits na the general nation no and now mine enya no in terms of inflation no na womu akwa say enyama ni bi wa womu comes fall short and no mun to me the accessibility etumi betumi aboa wom amadosi ni ama na omuhia no wom betumi anya nti wom chechemu say air cost of air wom transportation can be and afa getting access to market na niama wom aye no wom betumi aton and prices wom ton niama wo ho no ni na bi count na ma wom inflation no equal 11.2 afi mu no. Okay, Kofi yebeda ase before ade beto aso na say ninyina eno no nina no nti anwumre ne aka nina no nina be so ebeti na yebeda Kofi Abranti asipapa ene jese Ghana no nyoma nyina eba fom emre bi atwa na se opanyado akora na emienu pe ne ayi ahye wonsem 5 cities na ene no jese nyame adom ne buo no ewo fom kontombre ne ama ne se wa mu nyina no se buo no aba fom ti ne jese ama nyoma ayeden nyoma mu ayede de ama Ghana fo nti no ene jese ne Kofi Abranti abone tofa ne nyina de ama
ya tuaso na ya de ni tremu e Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mahama na so empempra me no kasa di wonam kwan so de ni tremu akopie mu Zambia na ne mpota mu na mampanyi ene ne ho kani Lordina Mahama na wo mu Dubai na wo mu hwe sentoto ya hodo ni nyina bibia bekose kama wa man mienu we ntam na so empempren wodne oni atremu wodne ni atremu Zambia na enu mu na akopie mu Zambia na ne mpota mu na say Ghana High Commissioner our Zambia Madam Elizabeth Nantachi and what to just say Mampenny ba woba Zambia ebeboa ama man we mi no ayonkofa so nkwa da yentam ne yahyemuke na aboa mempuntu nyuma ne adwade ho nsenkaye no bibia afa ne ntoma pa ediefra Ghana High Commissioner wa Zambia and some way and what to ja
Ghana and Zambia have strong relations dating back to the era of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, because these two were freedom fighters who saw to the total emancipation of Africa from colonialism. And let me also add by saying that Ghana was the first country to establish diplomatic relations with Zambia following their independence. And so this visit goes a long way, going a long way to further strengthen the bond of relation between the two countries. Now, coming to the current state visit, it's going to, we are going to sign some MOUs in the area of bilateral air service agreements, in the area of visa waiver. Visa waiver is very important because the two countries have very little trade between them, and so it's going to improve movement of persons between the two countries. We are also going to sign MOU in the area of health, several MOU. So these MOUs will further strengthen the relation between the two countries, because we are going to then move to the implementation phases.
Na chesanya ekotie ye Ghana High Commissioner no wo Zambia Madam Elizabeth Nyantachi na wode enchemu we atudwa mampanyini ba wo ba no ene niam ahodo mu de agu akwam ebeboa ma yonkofa da man we mienu no bibia akoso kama na nsane ne mampanyini nani ebekiremu wo Zambia no na yewramu wo Dubai ne mpotamu amampanyin ene ebibrem hanom sempanifo ahodo e ka ne ho kopie mo ewo Dubai na wo mo airpao Global African Investment Summit a chese no eba beboa ama chese bibrem hanum nyina na se wiase ne yakaye bomu a edwede ho senkaye ne bibia timi adeda na kwan so.
What the Global African Investment Summit offers is precisely that: well-structured, scalable investment platforms across minerals, energy, infrastructure, trade, and logistics. Africa already has the assets. What we're building now is the architecture that allows those assets to speak the language of global capital. This shift from aid and debt dependence to asset-driven growth will enable African economies to attract long-term capital without unsustainable increases in our public debt. It will also anchor our development in ownership, productivity, and resilience. As a champion of the AU champion of the African financial institutions, I'm encouraged that this summit will provide a transparent, collaborative space for engaging global investors. Political leadership will offer stability and confidence, while professional asset restructuring will ensure fair returns for investors and tangible benefits for our people. Through the Global Africa Investment Summit, Africa decisively moves from an aid-driven narrative to an investment-driven future, from dependency to ownership. Africa needs robust ecosystems for asset restructuring, risk mitigation, and deal-making. And so this summit is a game changer, one that can unlock the full value of Africa's sovereign assets. Ghana fully supports this initiative. And so together, let us reset the narrative, let us mobilize global capital, and let us unlock Africa's vast potential for Africa and for the world.
Chose we a girl man penny John Dramani Mahama no December the 2 Jawabana War Power a Global African Investment Summit no one more pound to man as media in fa edikan craft first edition no ebetodra ewo Angola afie mu achase ye de bedia tire na de beto fom bia e ojmedia na san ye de abesom yeti for
yanto aso na Ghana mampanyi abedi chire ede atodwa na wachirem se Ghana mampanyi botaye ene se obepeja Ghana ede agiran pempen so be sa manyina ni behu yan ewo kwampa so na timi aboa se be na amaya aya krado so omde omusika bewura adwadie nsemu ewo man Ghana mu so no oman ne sa na atimi aboa na Ghana so no yetimi anya bibi papa bi ewo mu ochirem se mri bi atwam no na Ghana fododo na ase pe bibia ne atebri sika ya de kwamo no akokra ade aboman Ghana mu osi afi no Ghana mampanyi botaye ne se yankasa so yebetimi aye bibi ewo memu na atimi aboa na mpo edi akọ nkrofo aman so akoton na atimi aboa yen ode sansem nyina tudwa wo mbra mikase no ese eye Korea man no anemsifo a omuhwe adwadie wunsam so eba Ghana mampanyi abedi akire enanso ono na twe nkomo ewo sa kwanya no eso na ese eye Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency for eba ne nanso omo na twe nkomo na nkomo twe no omkasa afa adwadie okombefa so aboa ne adwadie wunsam no yatimi ayirimu sanso ana se bia omudi omusika mabehye adwadie wunsam ewo mangana minyina yade ese ebetimi aboa na Ghana nso yatimi akoyanim ewo sa kwanya no so na ye maame ekasa ena ochirem so hwa Ghana population no mbebu edos papa pa umaje se gina se bia insanu dwuma so ne ade betimi aboa na Ghana nso no yetimi akoyanim awasa akwanya no eso na osanso echirem se ne no so ko South Korea menima omo yenum bebre se Ghana betimi asua bibi ewuma ebetimi aboa yempa osi ebi ene aye fisheries training school ati so maye ena fe research center no ni nyina ya de se Ghana yesua bibi woma anase ne amano ekaboma yebetimi akuyanim ewo sa akwanja no eso sanso ena chese said ye danda niomani na ye nioma ena fe agri business ena fe air skills development no ni nyina aya de wose yetimi egina ho na eboa sanso ena vice president ade se sosha na se delegation eba na nanso no oni nyina no aya de se Ghana Investment Promotion Center for eka be se ni nyina no omotuatu adwene no mahwekwan so metimi asua bibi wom na aboa sanso ena se eye mpanyimfo awodro nso a efi eye akonfi constituency nim ni nyina nso eye ade a so omba dwumadi na so omotuatu adwene ahwekwan a ni nyina nso betimi akwase bia South Korea Nepal ni anamompa omutu no Ghana nso no yebetimi asua bibi anya bibi wom a yebetimi agina so aboa na Ghana yakoanim ewo sa kwanya no eso
ye toso na ye ko my Ghana mrahye bedwafie mu na enra wodi bill bi ekopie mu ewo mrahye bedwafie ma sa bill isi agitumi ebehwe aboa na eba legal education ehun senkaya na enkoye se Mokola School of Law nkwa ene ebekwa akwaje emra ehun nimde ehun teteye na emom no betre wana hye mu na wabie mu na university ahodo ewo my Ghana mu a wo sefata nso no wo ma ye sa programs ahodo ni nyina bi ho no mo sade be ye ebeboa na eba legal education senkaya bibia etumi adeda na kwemu na sa bill yi legal education bill 2025 na chese debate atodwa wa my God amrahye bedwafie mu na debate ni mu ena Dr. Dominic Ayini wono attorney general sanso ye minister for justice na chese watche na adwe wo ho ena watche sa bill yi si agitumi abeboa ye pefise system dada na ewo honom no ade a Ghana de hye bebra wo mo sefata sankenei wo mo be ya lawyer fo kukudan wo my Ghana mu no esi won kwan enti sa beli ebeboa ebie mu ama won esefata enyamra no honimde akonya.
It was a very strenuous system. It also guaranteed automatic entry to the law school if you were qualified enough to go through the LLB program. What this bill does is to clear the bottleneck, which is the monopoly of the Ghana School of Law and also the so-called entrance exam that made it virtually impossible for even students who graduated with first class from very reputable universities to get into the Ghana School of Law.
Na Chosaway, Dr. Dominic Anyini, wano Attorney General Sanse Minister for Justice, and or de enchimwe to your sanso de to just and then woman massa kwenya we nyina awie no ade a womde hyehyɛ ma pa begu akwam a womde bibi baba and your friend is Ghana bar exams a eno beboa ama wona sone so ayi ebi afrimu.
Mr. Speaker, we are also introducing the national bar exam, so that those who go through the law practice training course at the universities, the accredited universities, can all write the national bar exam, which will be a standardized exam, that will be administered by the Council for Legal Education and its bar examination committee.
Now, just Attorney General Wanua Esansuye Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Anyini, and Yekokotie and Kana Yetwatu and Homaso, say Yensa Ebeka legal practitioner, lawyer, Anoche Frimpong, Nanka Sansem way, Yaneno Edi Eho, Enkomo, Nanka Yajina Dream Chef is a banim run once and Kaya dia womo, and a woman who ye pananka billy, woman de Yafemu, na Yehu, Sense Champagne for the Gua. Ebeboa ama legal education ho senkaye said empanimfo ka no bibia timi afa no tumapa efra na ebrepemu no yensa eka lawyer Anoche yenkwa na yene lawyer Anoche enkwotwetwe nkomo lawyer Anoche utime nka memo ha mo akwa ba power Kasiebo so
me pa cho me jo papa
na po mu te say
oh me hu ye pa me hu ye
yeah the radia say me pa yan legal education bill ya empanimfo e de ho senkaye egu akwanmu yi wako e bi e ba ne mra na wonim ho nim de ye no yan bill no sign ne mu senkaye sitie e beboa am ye legal education system no bibia adeda na akwanmu ana
me pa cho e beboa ye pa we nya samranko e ya abakwasem nia attend say Abra Abrofono SC University College of the Gold Coast, 1948. Na subject noa ye no hono, courses noa ye no hono. Idea a good. And so Emma Yamma, Tinama University no etosini kakra. Ya me partner say, University be a war we are saying. Obien himself subject to say business. Administration. So 1 year and more a hagin. Ebiem 1 year law a hagin. Ebiem 1 year medicine and a doctor for a human course more a hagin. And she Yabedi found would ye. Now come in Kruma Besta University Nibu, lawyer in University of Ghana, 1961. And I was starting from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We see law faculty. Yeah, law faculty, not but law school. A day I can't hold. Now, or they can't hold. Not just say, yeah, law. And also, school of administration. I was school, wow. There is law faculty, no. The patch up, but yeah, a degree. Nania twice no. Which me baba practice law, and you find a law school. Now, Kwame Nkrumah University, no. Engineer from the University of Ghana School of Law. And a woman sana wa makwala de and so school for no at the school car every legon and a deba dina bomba ko pe ye ni bi a fellow Ghana School of Law and a medical school no see ba ko pe University of Ghana Medical School and a School of Administration University of Ghana School of Administration and na be University of Ghana School of Business na ye tu Kwame Nkrumah adan ekuye na that MPP when a man no one to Kroma adan ku ya boni wo wo timu no and almost says invest in the you aya University of Ghana and almost Ghana School of Law I say we invest no I have a different kra ya buwa wo ama ye hwe wani mu a so be pass so won pass e dey you be a professional into one kwa wo so benya koma obedi dia na atechefo anya atwaso wa ba besi ele it is anyankopon wadom President Mahama Aba na me lawyer penny say the bill they call parliament the pakos say tani ye be University Ghana School of Law no afiri ho na tumi no Ghana School of Law dey adwuma no ya teacher adiama selected university. Let us say University of Ghana University of Ghana School of Law. So they can't more Valley University. Valley University School of Law, Kimpa School of Law, UPSS School of Law, Central University School of Law. That's a library books and so we use any course content here. And so we they are caliber of architecture for a better idea. Oh, it is our standard. Who are 1 million, you know. University of Ghana, University of Science and Technology, KM, any University of Cape Coast, any Gimpa, only problem, any UPSC, only I buy the other, only problem. The private university, that's just said, you may be standard, you know. So we do standard, you know, but as a Canadian university, back open a yellow, any level, and now look at Canada become. Now we don't make sure, say, who are standard library, who are standard lectures. And the requisite books are to media check of another to meet standards are all the Sabia and your mother examination about Ebeka bar exams. I need you now law school, nobody to me name university. And you imagine next time say a boy Emma, then to me show be any so MPP me and then this year that person and you're failing the baby. Then to me show be any. So yet the woman here now and me a passing one you failing the derby because they are purely academic and a part of the university. And the idea about bois, young Palani, a wafasinum, any another urban papa.
Lawyer Nochi show. Yes, our national bar exams here and penny for so one beba na one more de asoin sui. Yes, national bar exams see one more trobi dada. Ye betwe be we bon sabe be se adesuafo ni bebre na enene wo mo afeli exams no enye law school ne nko a achechefo nso tro exams ni bia be ba na dodo na na wo mo afeli ye de samra we eba no enhye bi na penifo di gu akwam ama sa university school so mbe qualify ayasa legal education yi bi no se de be ya wo mo ebe feli ne nko ye bebre wo system ni mu
but ni ya ni America tira we say everywhere in the world course biara a professional to say chartered accountant be any lawyer for ediano any adian so if any who direct at is a lawyer for ejuma any a doctor for ejuma Mr. everywhere in the world they are restriction and you say you automatically say what now I know what pass it is we have to be other can it be a failure me share Rwanda any Kenya any Nigeria for the number who say that Ghana they are no kura fenyinam because and to me myself obibia na yes be lawyer obibia yes be doctor and yes anke nipa nkwa na better chima and you say no na we dey kasa babo ma nipa bebre apase dia and sisa no mo babo wo no ma be elubu the first one and they say once you say University of Ghana School of Law a year independent now mo take wo mo this bibia no ya na wash your fees no ya na was so je me here for mano ebre number 2 e bia ni say wa politician bi me person nobody ya media person bi me person nobody oponi nam wa no aba so a professional lawyer na student bia ye misio no pay na to share dia sa wo no one pass na bia ya de suspicion dia ma political party bi anasi Canadian na bibisa ayenyi na yin se kwaso wo o man we say no and na sa bia ni be free ho and it's before say you be who say o was a law school for no urban me say ni say we a student I wo ni wo mu nyina na pass through system no na ye who free baby ya na be a government minister bi na MPB ikura lectures ikura ma one day koda o ba wa ta wa pass no bin so stamina ni mi fifre of report no wa betina nka ha no pay ya no de be shia de sa one pass ya no na pass so na gini ya ni say minister na MP no wa ba ni muntina no wa pass that woman ni be free ho any fees na wo suru bebrebe no e ba bo me next ho na mo law pa de any medicine ya fi mu ba bia ni ye hwese ya be so no so because o gina court tanu e kata e sefata so we client na o ti wani mu no what brofo a woka not ya junior wo de kasa e so ye buo e de maw ene ye mera no ana wo ye judge so na wo ti wa so we obi a we ni me mera no now that to me I did that some no near dano what they ever to anuntina your son na nyata babuama because the delay about the or that be on the coso asono so the things in the baba form and a suspicion there victimization in I go through with us.
Okay, lawyer noche yabeda se wie yebo uprum na waje yeso na odi afa enchechire ama yenyantiasia etisei. Na chess legal practitioner lawyer anoche frempon na ewie wone ye atwetwe enkomo efa legal education bill hon sankaya mpanifo de egu akwam na uram wo Facebook hono na mo comment section no bebre na enkofo de ba Lawrence nuto ese wochia yen na wo hwe yen edi free Kuwait sanso na bra Jagos wo se Kotoka International Airport sasaya mpanimfo pese wo mo esesa no de wono de wone mpanimfo adwen papa sen sakraye ebetimi abamu na sanso na Isaac Dini wose wono de o problem pa na ni problem ne se oral team no wo hu juma wo mu edie a wono so ne de awode aba na Isaac Krona sanso echema no obo aban na baso ye pa inflation ho sankaye nei etimi afri 54 de abepiemu 38 no 3.8% no so no wo bo aban no abaso pa
yo oba abana baso ana yanko yanim awonsa from ene no se Ghana fo nyina enim se nhihye bi awo Ghana ha etia ya mamre ne se bi oba ne ba be ware be ma ne be ma be ware sanse akwanchi no ahwo papa nya asem kuma na ene no Ghana mampanyi eba o kirem se sa hihye ne de nya de Ghana fo ye be so so na mum nhihye ya hodo a se parliament etwemu no no esanse Ghana mampanyi sabre na danko akufo adwanfa ne sa hya asenti no se ade ewu wo som sanso kɔ ekɔtena ase nhye foro na mbrahye badwafo agitu mpɔde ne sabɛhye ase na endura te sɛ nsɛma bɛnchi no ahwɛ de bia no edom kuma no ɛkasa wɔn sa denti na nei anti Gabriel no yɛmfa nsa nhye ase ɛma ne mbɛyɛ embra ɛwɔ ɔman Ghana mu na sansɛmi no owura Nelson Dafemakɔ edom kuma no ano.
Bill with passion. Sam George and I, we got it passed. The president refused to assent to it. That was what killed that bill. So my boss, Sinayariga, said the bill should be considered passed because it had been passed. So constitutionally speaking, what is the fate of a bill that was no longer a bill, that had become an act of parliament by pending assent? It was something we ought to have tested in the Supreme Court because a bill only dies with parliament. But this one, it wasn't a bill, it was an act of parliament. In doing this thing, it costs money and resources and time and everything. So technically speaking, we are going to go back to spend money, time, resources, parliamentary hours to go through what we have already gone through. I am saying the person who signs says my pen is ready, the ink is dripping. If you bring it today, I'll sign it the next minute. We will bring it. Okay. So we want to assure the nation and all the faith-based institutions and religious bodies who are interested, both sides of the major religious organizations, both Christians and Muslims, that this bill will pass it just like we did a year or two ago.
Ati ayora Nelson Dafemakɔ to dwa umra no nsɛm kyerɛfo etwe nkomo ɛwɔ nsɛm ehu na ye gyina wei so na yakɔgye aboafo enkrato aba ye ba ye bewura mu ɛwɔ adwaman so ɛne sikadwa mu ne yakɔ akɔhwɛ ne yetodwa ɛwɔ
na ede na aya obayi a oda forma so ne yafunu mu emunumuni.
Oh Mr. Entry also yare ya titi be benfie pi nanso ne yam nyono da se me kire no ahodo amato a me hunu hwe a ebe ya nwanwa
menyi ni se what also tamfo hexa capsules any hexa mixture yanum bom kotia also no bia ma no anom anka ne ho ato no dadaada also dro de eno ne hexa capsules any hexa mixture
ankom ni nkyeremu
also yekura eto yefunu ene ensunumu etuma wo yefunu ekeka wa wogire wo ho a enye also etumi ema wo ye cheko ebra wadidi awie so how eye also de a compare hexa capsules any hexa mixture nanum bom na ho ebeto
pedudu atu a ko okanshi drug lane Kumasi Dani Herbal Takradi AA Mensa Anafre 020382285 apinfo abatan a woma won mofra no fo ene mofra woni mfie dumienu enka ho Haxa capsules ene ne mixture
Ulcer tamfo FDA age adwadie nkratoyi yi atom.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Yes, I am a quabium baby adwino yadi aya dwadie Kasiebo eto aso na Kofi Abrante asan atenase bioma de ekodwa so oboye mu Kofi mesamo akwaba
Grant ma bejo so
e de na ekwamu ayimra na
gutafo na sambe wo mu su se eniama bi ko a wo mani nyam
okay fa boy ne ngo
ebra so se yedi dwadie na face Kasemu amanebo ebesomo e wo premto bia Kasiebo so sambe me amaje makonya e de Kasiebo ebra midin e de Kofi Abrante Kasiebo no emunsem ankasedi Ghana Union of Traders Association HNT afen guta o president and premier oni to George mu say e ade a directive bi e koso say e cargo cars no say yenhwe na yenfa insurance ne ade emobo ho ene na omo chemu say e sa policy a wo mo e ba no enyade a ebetumi aboa ama omo dwedie ene akone aba omo di say e gutafo ene ma eye wo mo adwumayefo no ebetumi akoso enu nti ombesra aban say ni manimi a no obehye no National Insurance Commission wombetumi aye bibi area fa sa na mo a wompese womutu na oye opehene Clement Boatin nsembia oni tujane bi eni
yenti bibi MF NIC for no ne betia ne say about 2 weeks ago program biase and a representative of Ministry of Finance or co-program national co announce say with effect from 1st February ye be implement sa marine insurance no enti guta yete no anya yede because so bia ye ne modin komo 2021 yenti bibia na say ebia say dwen number say mo pese mo de ye adwuma say mo sign I come back to us na consensus na ye raise previously no ye nyina no ye trust na ye den ye addresses our consensus no and sana ebia mo de be adwuma kra na multimedia ye den e di aye adwuma yanti bibia na mo ne ye tie ya say once with effect from 1st February no on the ba be adwuma eno na ma guta ye issue that statement na our statement na ye issue ye na ye kanema enso ewom ne dikan ye say insurance ya there enye force opea and obey den and obey insurance 2 ye sign e can say insurance no kwa also on dey ba no ya nye stakeholder engagement bia yen adwadifo na modest insurance ne den e dey brain enti no se ne papa mu ese mu no yesi nkonwa na ye kire adwen na mo nso mo kire madwen
we a guta president onumanyam for Clement Boatin ene yetene kano yemfa ni enkochemu onsem fufuru ma ohene edema Asabaha Zongo Chief Yaro Gibo Fuseni ena mpempren obo Ghana man His Excellency John Dramani Mama abaso se oba wahye ama cement ena fe iron rod bo etimi abafom ono na ochemu se atia sansache atimi aboa ama wo mo mpese omusidan ena fe wo mo nso a wo mudi wo madwuma wo construction field ni na no sese wo mutumi nya sika edegu mboto na nsem ni bia Chief Yaro eni tujane bi eni
Akufado time na 2024 more no na cement 42 no na eto no 140 something cedis but in them no ka say 100 cedis e wa 32 no na eto no 100 cedis and then 60 something e wa ha no The cost of crown is 70 cedis. Iron rods no 1 ton, no almost 10,000. That's 9,000 something. You see, I mean, because 7,000. And labor no kwana Ghana the tia scra no labor the enti so. Dua crown na carpenters use the decking way. Now 16 feet no. Now 16 cities. And now I say about 160. And now I say about 140. And there is vast difference. Nema perform.
Wey chief Yaro Gibo Fuseni ene yeten nkan one ohene edema Asabaha Zongo Muslim for ene yeten nkan ha ena bre ene adija be ma ne Jedie mu amanebo ena fiskase mu ni na etumi esi
Yabada Kofi Abranti ase edwadie Kasiebo abonitewu ede amana yento ansam no so na yenko yenim na isene no international diplomat consultant also expert international relations mu ede nsem bi atodwa akere na adwene nei nchinu ahyewa se bi akotoka international airport yesesa anase yesesa no akwakọ yensem bebre na no wada no edi na sansem owura Farouk Awahab adadede akere na adwene se sansem no kora no te se kwa semini ade na sadia oka no mama yentie na adwenkyere no ebi.
Until 1969 Ghana airport was Accra International Airport. That's the colonial British what they call it. Until 1969 when Nkrumah G independence 57 it was still Accra International Airport. It was still Accra International Airport 1966 and now it's Nkrumah. So therefore, in between the time in Nkrumah, of course, Kotoka.
Power defense.
So, Kotoka became Kwame Nkrumah as the first president of the country and the founder of the country. And they have Palace School. Some and what we are hearing, they say, because Onu defended a coup, Onu the founder of the country, until he becomes monumentally very popular, and that the place was named after him.
Na weno nsema owura Farouk Awahab adi tudwa efa Kotoka wiemhyen ginabia no ho se yesesa edin se yede ne ba eno no eno abo ne tofa ede amayen wo ensafrom nso no ranking member ema akwantempon dwumedie nsam so mrahye badwefie committee no eso owura Kennedy osenya akon enso kire na adwene egbisa se adenti ena esenimanimu ya no aban epese osesa edin no sanso ndo hu sebe emfaso a ewo so se ewo se aban no esesa side na mo aban no mmodin so de nani besi impuntu awodro so ewo oh my Ghana musadia se honorable eka nsem no ye beko ahama no so na ye ne odefo Kwasi Bechi yensakana wa kyerɛkyerɛ ne sɛ deɛ ɛkɔso ɛwɔ mrahye badwafie ni debate ahodo a ɛkɔso ɛwɔ edin a yɛbɛsesa sie bɛsa na sie nsesa se mo ahyɛ ase anaasɛ mo nhyɛ ase no sie nsaka odefo Kwasi Bechi ɛwɔ ahama no so a yɛne no ɛbɛtwe nkɔmɔ ɛwɔ saa ensam no nso ɛho
yɛgyiramu wɔ my Ghana mrahye badwafie mu a na bill ho nsankaye ya ɛnei no wɔn de to dwa sɛ ɛnkyɛ defense study university bill no wɔn de mo nsankaye bɛto dwa na ɛba no bambɔ ho nteteyɛ ɛwɔ my Ghana mu a wɔn ahwɛ ne yakane na ɛno mu ɛna majority leader wɔn mrahye badwani de ma adehye a wɔn ɛwɔ Boko Central ɛyɛ nonyamfo Mahama Yarga wɔn ɛna wɔde saa ensam wɔ to dwa wɔabɔ no nsɛntwɛfo twɛn kɔmɔ mrahye badwam na ɔkyerɛ mu sɛ saa bill yi ebeboa ama degree ya na afensu post graduate degree ho entity eba no defense ho sankaye no ehye Ghana Armed Forces any institutions ahodo a wo mo ema santity ani nyina no sabeli beboa na wo maka wo mu nyina aboa no baako na aban na hwe na watintim University of Defense wo my Ghana mu na aboa mabambo ho entity ho sankaye etimi edimuye
Defense will bring a proposal to transform the Defense Industries Holding Company Limited, DHOC, into a defense industrial Development Cooperation. So there will be a bill to that effect. And they also want to establish a defense university because they have several colleges. They have several defense colleges. They have the Kofi Annan Institute. They're already awarding degrees and diplomas, even doing PhDs, and affiliated to other universities. So they feel that given the number of institutions that they have,
na just aye eneno na yati ye no se akwakoye ensebre na no se be defense wonsem na timi abo emfasida ema mensaka me pacho edwumadi edi pesika anti dial *274# *274# choose Power FM na twa bi 55 cities ayeko na also na wochi sika 50,000 Ghana cities a ye che no nsabeka bi na etimi abo na eno so eni ebegina na se eye enensema yensa ekan ni nyina no ye de ni nyina so asi ewa ha na ye sore so maame eye Rose eye Asuman Ella Opoku maame ene eye wawoda enti maame ye ma eye happy birthday Nyankopon hiraw oma nkwatente na watena se aboa na Ella muso abrabo ne ade nyina no etimi akwaso edementi ma Rose ye wo show happy birthday.
When so every ama poma checheku honom was a happy birthday enko enfama eye emma amankwa afrifa wonso ene eye wawoda ntino ama poma checheku se yama happy birthday Nyankopon wonhrawo na wonto wonkwa na musanso ena eye Jordan obin prempe ejei wonso ene eye wawoda Nyankopon hramo na womamo nkwatenten na womamo nkwa na enware ewasase so na yade Kasiebo ni nyina esi da team ni nyina ase ama mama checheku saso na Elopoku Evergreen ene team amoboy nyina no yade mase efe eye Francis ene Welesu na gina camera na chi ama Elizabeth Tego na esiesie ye ho kama na fe MCL Sound ene technical team ni nyina no yade obia ase yakramo amone hwa ade na